If you're not already seated, but it looks like you've already done that, please make your way to your seats. Ceremony is going to have been about 1 minute. This time, please take this moment to silence all your cell phones. We will allow ample time for any picture taking after the ceremony, but please, we ask that you use discretion as not to disrupt the program by standing in front of the stage. We will also have a photographer to capture these moments throughout the event, from which you will be able to acquire photos later. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the Pirate Battalion's Spring 2023 commissioning ceremony. Please stand for the posting of the colors and the singing of the national anthem by Mr. David Wright, Human Resource Assistant, ROTC, and remain standing for the invocation which is going to be given by Father John.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
From Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil. As I've walked with each of you for the past 4 years, it is a gift to see all of the ways in which you have seen, heard, and been led to lead others in action, leading to this moment of commissioning. And so, Heavenly Father, we present to you those who are about to be commissioned. They have seen examples of authority throughout their 4 years here. They have learned to receive orders. Now they will be giving orders. we ask that you may walk with them as you promised to do so. For all those who entrust themselves to you, we entrust to you those who are here ready to lead others. And those who have this question on their heart, am I ready? You respond with your eminent wisdom. If you are ready to serve, then you are ready to lead. We thank you for the gift of these cadets who are about to become commissioned officers in the U.S. Army.
Thank you, Father John. Please take your seats. On behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Adam Schur, the Professor of Military Science, Captain Hope Stremka, the Assistant Professor of Military Science, Captain Gary Chapman, Assistant Professor of Military Science, Master Sergeant Adam Laws, the Senior Military Science Instructor, and the entire Department of Military Science, we welcome our distinguished guests, Colonel Gagnon, Commander of the Counter-Drug Task Force, New Jersey Army National Guard. Also with us, Civilian Aide Secretary of the Army, Erica Jeffries, alumni, parents, relatives, and friends of those who will become second lieutenants this afternoon. Behind me on stage is the official party, Major General Katulich, as well as Dr. Calhoun, Mr. Henry D'Alessandro, and the PMS, Lieutenant Colonel Schur. I am Captain Justin Hunter, also Assistant Professor of Military Science and the Master of Ceremonies for today's event. The commissioning ceremony is a time-honored tradition that signifies a new officer joining the profession of arms. This ceremony is the visible transformation from cadet to officer. A commissioned officer must administer the oath of office to the new lieutenant and swear them to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. As such, each newly commissioned officer becomes an agent of the executive branch of government, appointed by the president. The pinning of the second lieutenant is a visible sign of this appointment and of the commitment made by the officer. Please maintain proper decorum and respect as we proceed with the ceremony. Now please welcome the Assistant Vice President and Dean of Center of Academic Success, Dr. Vaughn Calhoun.
All right. Welcome. Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome. Good afternoon. Anybody here? I think I see a room full of folks here. So I just wanted to say welcome, and welcome to our esteemed guests, our faculty, family, friends, and our graduates today. And today we've come together to really mark a truly special occasion, the commissioning of remarkable graduates into the United States Army. Okay. You guys got to work with me just a little bit today, okay? And today fills us all with immense pride and invites us to reflect upon the journey that has led us to this point. And I'm reminded of the profound impact that military service has had on countless lives, including my own. And it is within this context that I want to share just a deeply personal story, one that pays tribute to the steadfast spirit and unwavering dedication of my father, U.S. Army First Sergeant Huey P. Calhoun, who recently passed away. You see, my dad was the essence of a true hero, having served the nation with utmost honor and distinction. Although his military path started with a brief stint in the Navy. I know, he shook his head too in a little disappointment. But he realized the mistake he made and quickly transitioned into the Army. So go Army, right? Oh, I heard go Navy. We're all friends, and so it's all in jest. But you see, my dad, he forged a remarkable career. 25 years of service in the Army and earned a Bronze Star for his courageous actions during the Vietnam War. And as a military, thank you so much. And as a military kid, growing up with a first sergeant in the house, he emphasized the value of always being ready. He would always say to me, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And looking back, he was determined to instill that in myself and my brother as being the key to success. And just before I set off to college, embarking on my dream to play college football, my dad handed me his lapel pin, this one right here. And it has the words on it, "In peace as in war." And I asked him, "What is that? Well, what does that mean?" And he said, "Son, it's the military police pin and our motto, and the thing that I've been constantly trying to share with you throughout your whole life." And, you know, those words and that pin served as a tangible reminder to me to always remain ready, to always remain vigilant in both times of good and not so good. And that simple gesture carried immense meaning for me as a source of inspiration and guidance even to this very day. And now, as we stand here today, witnessing the remarkable achievements of our graduating seniors, it is abundantly clear that the Seton Hall's ROTC program has thoroughly equipped each and every one of you to be ready. Ready to serve, ready to lead, and ready to be your best in the face of any challenges that will come your way. So please know that the foundation has been laid. The preparation is complete. It is now up to each of you to carry the torch to stay ready in peace as in war. So in the face of uncertainty and adversity, hold fast to the lessons that you've learned here, the values that guide you, and the unconquerable spirit that resides within each and every one of you. The world is eagerly awaiting your contributions, and your readiness will be instrumental in upholding the Army's core values of loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. So on behalf of the entire Seton Hall administration, we want to extend our heartfelt congratulations to each of you. We celebrate the significant milestone in your lives, and we do so with boundless pride and unwavering confidence in your ability to excel as leaders and defenders of our great nation. So as you step forward into your respective roles, places, and bases, never forget the sacrifices made by those who came before you. And you can also remember my dad's words too. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So class of 2023, thank you for your resolute commitment to our country. May your paths be filled with purpose, peace, and immense satisfaction knowing that you're serving something greater than just yourself. And one last thing, and I believe this is our motto here: can do. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Calhoun. As a military police officer, I hope you know that we are inspiring and ready, as he just said. Our next keynote speaker today is Major General Deborah L. Kutulich. She is currently the director for the Army Recruiting and Retention Task Force. The Army Recruiting and Retention Task Force was established by the Secretary of the Army to integrate and synchronize efforts across the Army enterprise to address all issues currently affecting recruiting and retention efforts. Major General Kutulich recently served as the Chief of Staff for the Army Support to the Naming Commission. The Army Support Team coordinated and facilitated the efforts of the congressionally mandated commission created to provide naming, renaming, and removal recommendations to the Secretary of Defense and Congress for all Department of Defense items that commemorate the Confederate States of America or any person who served voluntarily with the Confederate States of America. Previously, Major General Kutulich served as the Director for Supply, Production, and Distribution of COVID-19 Vaccine and Therapeutics for the Countermeasures Acceleration Group, formerly known as Operation Warp Speed. She led a joint and interrogation team that worked hand in glove with industry partners to deliver hundreds of millions of life-saving doses and treatments to the American people and globally. In addition to this, Major General Kutulich has served in several positions to include the Chief of Staff at the United States Transportation Command and 3 different assignments at the Defense Logistics Agency. Major General Kutulich's command tours include the 143rd Sustainment Command, Expeditionary, Orlando, Florida, the 77th Sustainment Brigade, Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, New Jersey, the 655th Regional Support Group, Westover Air Force Base, Massachusetts, the 359th Transportation Battalion, Fort Eustis, Virginia, and Headquarters Company, 55th Material Management Center, Theater Sustainment Command, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. While in command of the 143rd, Major General Katulich deployed her headquarters to Kuwait in support of Operations Freedom's Sentinel, Inherent Resolve, and Spartan Shield. During her tour, she was dual-hatted as the Deputy Commanding General of the 1st Theater Sustainment Command and Commanding General of the 133rd Sustainment Command. Was responsible for more than 10,000 service members, civilians, and contractors deployed throughout the Central Command Theater of Operation. Other deployments were in 2004 to Balad, Iraq for Operation Iraqi Freedom II, and in 2007 to the CENTCOM Deployment Distribution Operations Center at Camp Afrajan, Kuwait, in support of Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. Major General Katulich received her commission in 1990 from the United States Military Academy at West Point, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science. She also holds a master's degree in National Resource Strategy from the National Defense University. Major General Katulich is married and has 2 daughters. Please welcome Major General Katulich.
Thank you, Captain Hunter. I appreciate that great introduction, and I want to say good afternoon and congratulations to the class of 2023. All right. It is truly an honor to be here today, first because this is a tremendous milestone for each of you, but also because you are the future, and it's an absolute joy to be part of getting you started. I want you to bask in this moment that you're feeling right now, the pride of accomplishment. I promise you this is just the beginning of so many more moments of feeling elated at an achievement that is not going to be just something you achieve, but from here on out, your unit and your soldiers. Taking on the mantle of leadership is the most humbling, but it is also the most rewarding benefit of this job. I want to start by recognizing parents, family members, teachers, professors, coaches, mentors, and those who supported and encouraged you from the beginning and throughout your time here. You know, none of us gets here alone, and sometimes we think we do. We might feel like it, but if you think about it, someone somewhere either encouraged you or challenged you, even if it was only to tell you that you're crazy. And it's those moments and influences that got you here. Again, to those who played that role for these remarkable men and women, I want to thank you so very much for being here today. You know, it's good to be home to New Jersey. I was born and raised in Bridgewater, a small place when I was growing up about 55 years ago. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. My grandfather and my grandmother on my father's side came over from Slovakia and Poland. My mother's side was Hungarian and Italian. In the 1920s, my grandfather bought a 130-acre farm in Rayville near Flemington, and I remember riding on the fender of my grandfather's tractor as he plowed through the fields. I remember playing with my brother in the corn crib. And you know, when I share those stories of growing up in New Jersey with the circles I run in, they don't believe me. But it's true. In fact, we used to say it was a melting pot here. I grew up seeing different cultures, foods, religions, languages, Italian, German, Polish, Greek, Jewish, even African American in a small area called Hobbstown in Bridgewater, where I grew up, which is enjoying some recognition and commemoration overdue today. My older brother's a graduate of Rutgers, and I probably would have gone there if I hadn't gone to West Point. I remember having a roommate from West Point who was from northern Minnesota, and she told me she had never met a Jewish person or an African American until she got to West Point, and that was in 1986. Another close friend from Idaho was uncomfortable driving in New Jersey, you know, with the Jersey jug handles and the highways and the traffic. So we coordinated that whenever he would go home, I would drop him off at the airport at Newark and pick him up. I wouldn't have traded growing up here in New Jersey for anything in the world. I feel like I had a diverse, broad, and even worldly childhood before I ever left home. And it really wasn't until I joined the Army and started to meet many people from across the country that I realized that not everybody grew up that way. So anyway, good to be back. Let's get back to you. So I'm going to make a declarative statement. Each of you graduates sitting here today has decided to become a part of something bigger than yourselves. Each of you today is volunteering to serve your country during a time of great power competition. Now, the overwhelming majority of Americans have enjoyed and are enjoying a level of security and conditions for prosperity that are so great, it's almost unrecognized, and I would suggest it's taken for granted. That isn't to say things are perfect here. Nothing ever is. But it is to say that the likelihood of some sort of kinetic attack from our adversaries, like incoming rockets or enemy tanks rolling down the Garden State Parkway, is pretty low. It's so low that it never even crosses the mind of any Americans. But I would tell you that that level of security isn't chance or luck, not at all. Every day, all over the world, our Army is engaged in operations to ensure our safety is guaranteed, every day. And that's why it's inspiring to see so many of you sitting here today, ready to join the greatest fighting force in the world and become part of the team that keeps this nation safe and sets the conditions for prosperity. Each of you arrived here as individuals from different communities, different backgrounds, different life experiences, and each has overcome hurdles to get to this day. As an example, several years of adapting to life in a global pandemic. I would tell you, in fact, dealing with and powering through COVID has been a tremendous training experience in resilience for each of you, whether you realize it or not. It wasn't the first one in the history of the world, but it was certainly the first one for all of us. In the Army, you're going to face complex challenges wrought with ambiguity, and you'll have to make important decisions with imperfect information to work through those challenges and win. What's important to know is that you can do it, and you're not going to be alone. You will be part of a cohesive and capable team. You will be trained, in some cases repetitively, so that decisions become reflexive, which is important when there's not a lot of time. But in other cases, you're going to be trained to think creatively and critically to come up with the right decision at the right time. Who's heard of MDMP? Anybody? Military decision-making process. It works. And so do many of the other tactics, techniques, and procedures that we use in the Army every day. Fall back on those. Feel confident. They work, I promise. Soon you will swear an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, and in so doing, you will have the privilege of leading the world's greatest soldiers. I want you to be proud of that. As was already mentioned, I want you to embrace and lean on the Army values of loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. They form the cornerstones of our strength and cohesiveness as a fighting force. Each of you will embody those as leaders as you earn the respect of your soldiers and instill in them the confidence and commitment to succeed. Together you will be charged with maintaining a peace hard fought by past heroes. Let there be no doubt that there are adversaries in this world who wish us and our nation harm, and continued peace and security is not a foregone conclusion. However, history aside, I will share that in my 33 years of service, I have seen significant changes within the Army. So much change, in fact, that I often say the Army of today is not my granddaddy's Army. We've evolved and continue to evolve to become better, faster, and stronger. We see this in our weapons systems, our doctrine, our training, our internal professional military education, our leaders, and our soldiers. 33 years ago, when I was commissioning as a second lieutenant, I wanted to go to Ranger School, and I could not. After an injury that caused me to be disqualified from being an Army aviator, I wanted to go infantry, and I could not. But if I were commissioning today, in both cases I could. Now, the great news is I had many, many other exciting and exceptional opportunities, and I think everything worked out pretty well. But after 3 deployments in the global war on terror, I'm proud of our leaders recognizing that those exclusions don't make sense. And I'm thrilled for the women today who have the opportunity to enter any branch and attend any school. And in fact, for all of our soldiers, the endless possibilities are there. The other area of dramatic change I've seen in 33 years is how we take care of our families, every shape and size. When I was commissioned in the Army, Vietnam was the most recent reference in 1986 to war. And at that time, it was said that if Uncle Sam wanted you to have a family, he would have issued you one. Remember that? Today, it's completely different. In fact, we say that the strength of our nation is our Army. The strength of our Army are our soldiers, and the strength of our soldiers are the families. Everything from reciprocal credentialing for spouses when they move from state to state with their soldiers, to educational benefits, to 12 weeks of vacation following the birth of a child. We prioritize our people. In fact, just last week, we redesignated a storied Army base that is the home of the Maneuver Center of Excellence in Georgia in honor of Lieutenant General Hal and Mrs. Julia Moore, an amazing Army couple who initiated the shaping operations for a dramatically better quality of life for our families. You might remember a couple of years ago a movie that Mel Gibson starred in called We Were Soldiers, and Mel played Hal Moore in the Ia Drang Valley in Vietnam. Our Chief of Staff of the Army, General James McConville, routinely says, people first, winning matters. It's people first because people are our greatest strength and our most important weapon system. Our people are our soldiers across every component, active, guard, reserve. It's our Army civilians, it's our families, our soldiers for life, retirees and veterans. We win through our people, and soon you will be charged with the responsibility to lead and care for them. You'll be responsible for building cohesive teams that are highly trained, disciplined, fit, ready to fight and win. You'll start by building and promoting climates of dignity and respect where every soldier in your formation feels a sense of belonging and wants to be in your unit. It will be your job to inspire your unit to live up to those Army values. Unacceptable behaviors, sexual assault, bullying, discrimination, other acts of violence, tear at the fabric of what makes our Army great. When that fabric is torn, cohesion erodes, and ultimately the basic trust and confidence it takes for a unit to succeed is compromised. Own your unit and lead it fearlessly with compassion. Ladies and gentlemen, winning matters. So to win, start with inspiration, the action or power of moving the intellect or emotions. As leaders, I'm going to tell you, your number one job is to inspire your soldiers to be better than they thought they could be. So how are you going to do that? I'll give you a hint. You will inspire all of them when you give it your all, when you engage deeply and not just transactionally with your soldiers, your non-commissioned officers, and your peers. When you are genuine, when you're authentic in your intentions to be a competent, capable, and caring leader. As a second lieutenant, you aren't going to be expected to know everything or to do everything right the first time, so don't walk in the door worrying about that. You're going to have a platoon sergeant, in all likelihood, who has somewhere between 13 and 15 years of experience. Lean on him or her. Know that to earn respect, you're going to have to give respect, and that includes acknowledging the other leaders around you who have been doing this a little bit longer. It also includes giving respect to those soldiers who in some cases are not as experienced as you, a little younger than you, maybe a little less education than you, but they want to be there, they want to serve, and they want to be inspired by you. And they too want the chance to explore the opportunities and the possibilities that the Army has to offer. And remember, you can do it. As the director of the Army Recruiting and Retention Task Force, I strive to inspire my team daily to innovate, design, think, develop, and challenge pre-existing notions of how the Army recruits. We are experiencing the most challenging recruiting landscape in a generation. We understand today's 17 to 24-year-olds have challenges with fitness levels, with misconduct, and with a less than ideal education thanks to COVID. We also understand that today's youth don't know who the Army is and what we're about. There are fewer veterans throughout our population to share their experience and inform others than there have ever been before. This is on top of an economy with the lowest unemployment rate in a generation and many, many more external factors. There is no one-size-fits-all solution, but nevertheless, we are committed to tackling these problems head-on by a recruiting force that looks like the nation it serves. And we're going to follow several important principles. Number one, we will not sacrifice quality for quantity. Number 2, we will not lower our standards. And number 3, we will invest in America's young people so they can meet our standards. As we focus on reintroducing ourselves and communicating the unlimited possibilities and available in the Army, we need help from everyone, community leaders, parents, educators, coaches, and influencers, to inspire young people to serve. We need help from everyone in this room. We're overhauling how the Army recruits by selecting recruiters differently, improving their training, increasing their resources. We're selecting recruiting company, battalion, and brigade commanders differently. For example, the company commanders being selected, some of them have already commanded. They'll get a fully funded advanced degree after they complete a second company command of a recruiting company. We established the Future Soldier Prep Course at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, to invest in those young men and women who want to serve, but who need a little bit help getting their scores up and getting their fitness level up. And you know, we've reinvented and relaunched Be All You Can Be. If you haven't seen the commercials, go check them out. Those are soldiers, not actors, playing themselves. But we're not stopping there. The Army is continuing to launch new programs to improve the quality of life for our soldiers, families, and civilians. We're investing in barracks, family housing, child care, spouse employment, health care, and programs to support differently abled family members, just to name some of what we're doing. Our soldiers are thriving, and they are our most influential ambassadors to tell their stories and inspire others to serve. So people are the Army's #1 priority, and although we still have areas to focus on, the Secretary, the Chief of Staff, and the Sergeant Major of the Army are energized and clear in their direction of the force. Army Secretary Christine Wormuth has stated a top priority to strategically adapt the way we recruit and retain talent into the Army in order to sustain the all-volunteer force. Many of today's youth don't understand that 50 years ago, at the end of the Vietnam War, when the draft was bringing in men to serve who didn't want to serve, it ended. And today, every man and woman who serves is doing so because they want to, not because they have to. And that is exactly where we want to be. We want a fighting force of willing, motivated, and capable men and women, and you will lead them. Your inspiration will go a long way to continuing to build the Army. Now, this week, I was at a conference at the Sustainment Center of Excellence down at Fort Gregg Adams, and I saw dozens of lieutenants, second lieutenants everywhere. They were attending their basic officer leadership course. And I grabbed a few of them, because they didn't really have a choice. They had to talk to me. And I told them I was going to be speaking today, and I asked them, with what you know now, what would you want to hear from me at your commissioning ceremony? And they didn't hesitate. They had 3 things. The first one, be confident. The second one, ask questions. And then the third one, be ready to learn. Now, I feel like I covered the first 2. I've said a couple times, you can do this. I've talked about the fact that no one expects you to know everything right out of the chute. You just have to be genuine, give it your all, and ask questions. People are there to see you succeed. The third one I didn't touch on, but I consider myself to be a lifelong learner, and I can completely get behind number 3. Be ready to learn. That's from them to you. Let me start wrapping up by reminding everyone that next weekend is Memorial Day, a day of national awareness and solemn reverence, a day for us to honor the military men and women who gave their lives in the defense of our nation, our values, and our freedom. Next weekend, I hope you will remember the connection we have with all generations that have gone before us. We would not be who we are today with the high quality of life and security that we enjoy if it weren't for those who selflessly served our country and in some cases paid the ultimate sacrifice. Today, when you raise your right hands, you are swearing an oath to the Constitution. And in doing so, you'll be swearing to honor their legacies as well. So thank you again for allowing me the privilege to be a part of your commissioning today, and congratulations again for this great achievement. I wish you all the very best as you launch into your career, being all you can be and being leaders in the best Army in the world. Ooh.
Thank you, ma'am. Now please welcome the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Adam Scher.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, General Katulich, for your presence. Thank you to our Seton Hall leadership. I know we have Colonel Gagnon, Colonel Retired Dougherty here as well, and thank you, Ms. Jeffries, for being here on behalf of the Secretary of the Army and Mr. Maggs for the reserves as well. Thank you to all the distinguished guests that are part of this ceremony. It really is an incredible opportunity to get ready to offer the oath to our future lieutenants. And before I do, I wanted to begin by talking a little bit to all the parents, the grandparents, the brothers, sisters, friends, the extended family of our commissionees. 2023, as noted, marks the 50th anniversary of our all-volunteer force and the 130th year of Seton Hall University training Army officers. This ceremony is for you, friends and family, as much as it is to honor our commissionees. Because joining the Army is not an individual choice. Service to our nation in uniform is an entire family sacrifice, and I want to take a special moment to thank those family and friends of these fine young men and women we are honoring today. The cadets' desire to serve can clearly be attributed to your influence and guidance. Their core values were instilled in them long before they arrived in the Pirate Battalion. I am grateful that you endorsed and continue to support these future lieutenants in their decision to serve others. Without you, these cadets would not be standing here today, and they owe you a round of applause. They're joining an Army that is full of challenges and opportunities. I am confident they are ready to face this world head on. And I know that they won't be alone when they are called upon to take care of our troops, wherever that may be. This commissioning ceremony, to me, comes down to three things. First, it's recognizing their past accomplishments over these 4 long years of college. Some of them are very happy that these 4 years are finally over. Second, it's being present in this moment to celebrate this achievement during these festivities. Perhaps most importantly, though, commissioning ceremonies like this one, happening all over the country this time of year, are truly designed to help bring hope for the future to all of us. We are excited for the adventures that these young people are about to embark upon. We are excited for the soldiers that they will soon lead, and we are grateful and triumphant for the nation that they will defend. Our way of life, our freedom, and our democracy are in good hands because of these men and women we are commissioning here today. When I commissioned as a second lieutenant many years ago, I was surrounded by my family, my fellow cadets, and my professors. Truth be told, I had a lot more hair at that ceremony also. 2 of my professors at the United States Military Academy pinned on my second lieutenant bars. They got me ready to commission, and they contributed the most to my cadet career. They were the officers who I wanted most to emulate. That day, our relationship changed. I went from being a cadet and having a captain and a major as my teachers in the classroom and my coaches on the debate team to being fellow members of the Army Officer Corps. As of that moment, we had a shared mission to take care of soldiers. Brigadier General Cindy Jebb, Colonel Gingy Gilmartin, Colonel Joanne Moore, Lieutenant Colonel Reed Sawyer, all present for my commissioning, became the people I would turn back to time and time again as I navigated my life as a junior officer. Today, you are joining the Army, the same officer corps of my professors and mentors, as well as your professors and mentors that you have had in the room, Captains Hope Stremka, Gary Chapman, Steve Fox, Major Steve Fox, and Captain Justin Hunter, as well as Master Sergeant Laws and even Sergeant Padilla, who is back here. We may no longer be in your immediate chain of command. We won't be grading your papers, teaching your labs, or counting your push-ups. but we will continue to be a resource as you navigate your time as a junior officer. Just like I continue to benefit from the leadership and mentorship of those who supported me in my commissioning, I have also been fortunate to be a part of their promotions and have even served together with them in the Pentagon and overseas. They continue to contribute to my success as a lieutenant colonel, just as they contributed to my success as a cadet. And you should expect the same from your cadre here. My final advice to you then is to seek mindful mentors. Solicit leaders who inspire you and motivate you. Look for leaders who spark something in you. Find those leaders who will push you beyond your limit, because those are the leaders who help you grow the most. Mentors should pour into you, and you have to be ready and receptive when they do. One of the most beneficial aspects of mentorship will be the lessons you learn about yourself. Your journey will be marked by self-determination, hope, and both personal and professional fulfillment. Finally, I offer you a reminder of your purpose, the why you serve, the why we exist as Army officers. General Colin Powell, my Army hero and a 2nd Brigade Army ROTC alum himself, reminds all of us that leadership is about solving problems. The day soldiers stop bringing you their problems is the day you have stopped leading them. They have either lost confidence that you can help or concluded you don't care. Either case is a failure of leadership. Our soldiers are ready and waiting for your leadership excellence. Can do, never quit. Now it is my distinct honor to administer your oath today as you commission as 2nd lieutenants. It is also my sincere hope that your friends and family will get to witness this in a special way, because it doesn't happen that often. In fact, in my almost 20 years, I've only been able to do this in front of friends and family twice. This is a special moment for you, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, James Cummins,
Having been appointed an officer
having been appointed an officer
in the Army of the United States,
in the Army of the United States,
in the grade of 2nd lieutenant,
in the grade of 2nd lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend
to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I take this obligation freely,
and that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
upon which
upon which
I am about to enter.
I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Publish the orders.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and professional abilities of each commissionee. In view of these qualities and their demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, they are therefore promoted in the United States Army to the rank of 2nd Lieutenant, effective 19 May 2023, by the order of the Secretary of the Army, signed Christine Wormuth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Army's newest second lieutenants. Tradition dictates that the new commissionees are now authorized to add their uniforms the gold bars which represent their second lieutenant rank. Additionally, it is a time-honored tradition that a brand-new second lieutenant presents a silver dollar in return for their first salute. To every new officer, it represents a symbolic receipt of respect due to the newly earned rank and position. It signifies a deep sense of gratitude from the new officer for the knowledge passed on to them during their training. It is an acknowledgement from one professional soldier to another that says, "Welcome to the profession of arms." Second lieutenant ranks will now be placed on the new commissionees, and you will now witness the silver dollar salute. Each lieutenant will then be presented with a token from the Professor of Military Science, the civilian aide to the Secretary of the Staff, and our keynote speaker, Major General. Can the family of Second Lieutenant James Cummings, I promoted you, please come to the stage for the first salute and pinning. Second Lieutenant James Cummings from Bridgewater, New Jersey, is commissioned with a degree in diplomacy and international relations and criminal justice from Seton Hall University as an active duty infantry officer. Second Lieutenant Cummings will be pinned by his mother and father, Carrie and Thomas Cummings. Second Lieutenant Cummings will receive his first salute from Specialist Retired Kevin McCallan. Along with the tokens being presented is their official commissionee certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant James Cummings. Can Second Lieutenant Harper's first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Ryan Harper is from Middleburg, PA. He's commissioned with degrees in diplomacy and international relations and minors in Eastern European studies and history and military science from Seton Hall University as an active duty field artillery officer. Second Lieutenant Harper will be pinned by his parents, Lieutenant Colonel Promotable Robert Harper and Pam Harper. Second Lieutenant Harper will now receive his first salute from retired Sergeant First Class Carlos Padilla. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Ryan Harper. Can Second Lieutenant Peralta's first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Justin Peralta is from Washington, New Jersey. He's commissioned with a degree in history with a minor in political science from Kane University as an active duty infantry officer. Second Lieutenant Peralta will be pinned by his parents, Erica and Peter Moraes. Second Lieutenant Peralta will also receive his first salute from Sergeant First Class retired Carlos Padilla. Full disclaimer, these uniforms are very thick. It is not easy to get these pins through. So fair warning to everyone that has not come up yet. Second Lieutenant Justin Peralta. Can Second Lieutenant Samuel Obang's party please move to the front of the stage? Second Lieutenant Samuel Obangs from Hillside, New Jersey is commissioned with a degree in criminal justice from Kane University as an active duty engineer officer. Second Lieutenant Obang will be pinned by Sergeant Esteban Herman and Sergeant James Echeverria. Second Lieutenant Obeng will receive his first salute from Sergeant First Class Rodrigo Duran. Second Lieutenant Obeng. Can Second Lieutenant Istvan Varga from First Salute and Pinning Party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Istvan Vargas from Cincinnati, Ohio, is being commissioned in a degree in Diplomacy and International Relations with minors in Military Science and Arabic from Seton Hall University as an active duty military intelligence officer. He is being pinned by his father, Steve Varga, and sister, Nikki Varga. Second Lieutenant Varga will now receive his first salute from his lifelong friend and Sergeant First Class retired, Carlos Padilla. Second Lieutenant Varga. Second Lieutenant Luke Albanese is from Leonia, New Jersey, and is being commissioned with a degree in Diplomacy and International Relations with minors in Military Science and Russian from Seton Hall University as a Reserve Ordnance Officer. Second Lieutenant Albanese is being pinned by his mother and father, Mary and Gary Albanese. Second Lieutenant Albanese will receive his first salute from Sergeant First Class retired, Carlos Padilla. Second Lieutenant Albanese. Can Second Lieutenant Anthony Dotsman's first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Anthony Dotsman is from Kinnelon, New Jersey, is commissioned with a degree in integrated math and science with a focus on biology from William Patterson University as an active duty medical services officer. He is being pinned by his parents, Claudine and Joseph Dotsman. He will now receive his first salute from his grandfather, Specialist Retired Joseph Dotsman. Second Lieutenant Anthony Dotsman. Can Second Lieutenant Crystal Corkadillis' first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Crystal Corkadillis is from Allentown, New Jersey. Is commissioned with a degree in environmental science with minors in political science and journalism from Seton Hall University. She will be going active duty armor officer. Second Lieutenant Corkadillis is the first ever female from Seton Hall to branch armor. She was just pinned by her mother, Cindy Corkadillis, and brother, James Corkadillis, and now will receive her first salute from Sergeant First Class Retired, Greg Germity. Yeah. Second Lieutenant Crystal Corkadillis. Can Second Lieutenant Connor Zanaletti's first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Zanalotti is from Long Island, New York, and is commissioned with a degree in political science with a minor in military science from Seton Hall University. He will be is commissioned as an active duty field artillery officer. He is being pinned by his parents, Carrie Clapera and Jeff Zanalotti. His first salute is going to be from Seaman First Class Retired, Charles Zanellotti. Second Lieutenant Zanellotti. Can Second Lieutenant Leginski's first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Dalia Leginski is from Deptford, New Jersey. His commissioned with a degree in history and K-12 social studies teaching degree from Montclair State University. He will be going as a National Guard quartermaster officer. Second Lieutenant Leginski is going to be pinned by her mother, Michelle Leginski, and her brother, Tyrus Leginski. She will now receive her first salute from Sergeant Class Retired, Carlos Padilla. Second Lieutenant Leginski. Can Second Lieutenant Joseph Bragg salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Joseph Bragg is from Machias, Maine, and is commissioned with a degree in diplomacy and international relations from Seton Hall University as an active duty aviation officer. He will now be pinned by his grandfather, Major Retired Chris Lachlan, and father, Judd Bragg. He will now receive his first salute from Specialist Retired Jack Bragg. Second Lieutenant Bragg. Can Second Lieutenant Gibson's first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Stephen Todd Gibson from Midland, Texas, is commissioned with a degree in criminal justice from Seton Hall University as an active duty quartermaster officer. Second Lieutenant Gibson will be pinned by his father, Stephen Todd Gibson Sr., and his mother, Rebecca Lynn Gibson. No, it's not the longest. You're okay. I've seen longer. Lieutenant Gibson will now receive his first salute from Staff Sergeant Retired Hubert Lynn Gibson of the United States Army Texas National Guard. Second Lieutenant Gibson. Can Second Lieutenant Hudart's first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Zach Hudarts from Woodstown, New Jersey, is commissioned with a degree in psychology from Seton Hall University as a reserve quartermaster officer. This afternoon, he will be pinned by his parents, Joan and Chris Hudart. Second Lieutenant Hudart will receive his first salute from Petty Officer Retired Sean Lash. Second Lieutenant Hudart. Can Second Lieutenant Edward Bay's first salute and pinning party please come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Bay is from Wayne, New Jersey, commissioned with a degree in criminology and criminal justice with a minor in psychology from William Patterson University. Is going as a National Guard quartermaster officer. He is being pinned by his mother and father, John and Elizabeth Bay. Second Lieutenant Bay will now receive his first salute from Master Sergeant Adam Laws. Second Lieutenant Edward Bay. And last but certainly not least, and he certainly does get the best Wi-Fi in the field, can I please have Second Lieutenant Marginello Sesse's first salute and pinning party come to the stage? Second Lieutenant Sesse is from Jersey City, New Jersey. He's commissioned with a degree in exercise science and sports medicine from William Patterson University as an active duty ordnance officer. He will be pinned by his parents, Marcella Kielson and Eugenio Sesse. He will now receive his first salute from Master Sergeant Retired John Bouts. Please join me in a round of applause, Lieutenant Sesse. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the Army Song. This concludes the formal portion of the ceremony. We thank you all once again for coming. Once again, thank you to the official party. Major General Katulich, thank you for coming. Dr. Calhoun, as well as Mr. D. Alessandro, who, I apologize, is also the chair-elect for the Board of Regents, Managing Director and Head of Morgan Stanley. Sorry. Thank you again for your cooperation today. We appreciate your attendance and have a great afternoon. Seniors, please report outside for your senior photo. And if you wish to take photos, you can now come up on stage and do so. Thank you again.